Our first speaker is a good friend of mine. His name is Sidu. And he's going to give a speech entitled, Is Bollywood Real? Sidu.
Is it?
First of all, thanks to Peter for coming up with the name of my speech because he had to write something on the board and I couldn't think of one. Anyway, so yeah, my name's Sidu, Jena. I'm a senior in K entryway, and yeah, thanks for listening. It's great privilege. Okay, so yeah, here at Harvard, we get the opportunity to learn about the most amazing backstories. Students from all over the world come here from various backgrounds. I've met students who are like 5th or 6th in their family to attend Harvard, and I've also met students who are the first in their family to even attend college. But something that has always interested me in particular are the stories of first-generation students, the products of the undying determination and tenacity of immigrant parents, just as I was and many of my friends are. Ever since I was a little kid, growing up Indian American has always meant certain things to me. My life was definitely not the same as those of the white kids in my neighborhood, but it was also quite distinct from that of my cousins back in Orissa, a state in East India where both my parents are from. Growing up as an Indian American teenager in the very racially diverse part of Michigan where I lived meant that you essentially got to pick and choose what you wanted from each culture. College teaches us that it's a lot harder but a lot more rewarding to take the time to understand each part of one's identity. But as ignorant high school students, this meant that we had ownership over chai, samosas, we could dress up on Diwali, take pictures at Holi, and dance, which we did a lot. Friendships were formed and broken at dance practices. Class was skipped to plan out choreography, and passionate arguments would break out over song choices. Bollywood isn't real, just putting that out there for any of you who are wondering or maybe misled by the title of the speech. When I'm in India, I've seen people break out into song and dance in a non-wedding setting exactly 0 times. But somehow there's this whole subculture of Indian American kids clad in American Eagle and Levi's, trying to bring a piece of Bollywood, this dream of colorful costumes and upbeat songs, and romance waiting around every corner, to our little section of the Midwest, for some reason. I tried to distance myself from this, mostly because I didn't think I had a dancing bone in my body, but ended up being roped into a show or two where I would gyrate and do what most people know as the Jai-Ho move, to the amusement of my friends who had elected to not dance and rather to sit in the audience and laugh at me. But during the times that I did dance, I still couldn't figure out what the big deal was. I showed up at practices and had fun dancing with my friends, but when it was over, and I didn't feel any different. In fact, my friends and I would quietly make fun of the students who would spend the next month, or at least a couple of weeks, watching our performance, comparing it to performances at other schools, and daydreaming of the amazing dance teams in college. We just didn't care. This is why when I came to Harvard and signed myself and my 2 relatively new friends and now roommates, Ved and Anson, up for Gungru 2013, it was mostly as a joke. Not to sound like every single Harvard student talking about every single thing they do, but I could never have predicted how much fun that experience was and how many amazing people I met that spring. I had always approached things with an understanding of how good I was at them. When I was in high school, I was shy about playing the piano in front of my friends, despite having played for 12 years. Just because I knew that there were people way, way better than me in my school. Gungru was one of the first things at Harvard that didn't make me feel that way. The whole point was that no one knew anything coming in, not even the choreographers, as Ved and I would discover over our subsequent 3 years of choreography for Gungru. It wasn't a competition like the national Bollywood competition some of my more talented high school friends ended up dancing at during undergrad, the same competitions that they daydreamed about. It was for the Harvard community. For roommates who had likely already seen you awkwardly practicing moves in front of the mirror, at the very least caught you on the way to practice at 10 p.m. For professors who had to work hard to disguise their amusement that the seemingly narcoleptic Indian kid in their immunology class had enough energy to dance for a whole set of songs. And occasionally for parents who are a bit shocked, but hopefully not displeased, that their children are doing something other than work for once. There were all-nighters pulled cheerfully and willingly to work on the set or plan out formations, for no reason other than the pleasure of making something beautiful. It was such a contrast in exams and problem sets, comparing summer internships and publications and awards, that I fell in love with it immediately, and I've looked forward to Gungru season every year. It's something that I have the opportunity to take part in while having 0 credentials, which is very rare in the real world. Bollywood still isn't real. I don't have a team of backup dancers and a catchy musical number to accompany everything that happens to me on a day-to-day basis. But the spirit of Bollywood, the infectious wave of music catches my hands and feet and turns my mouth up in a smile, regardless of how the day has been going. And the energy of all of the dancers, directors, choreographers, tech volunteers, and set designers all around me carries me through every spring. I think I understand why those kids my friends and I made fun of in high school acted the way they did. Because when the speakers come on and the curtains swing open, there's nothing else in the world right then but music and happiness, especially when you're dancing with your second family. I'm not leaving Harvard knowing something deep about the meaning of the dances we perform or even about Indian culture in general. But I understand a little bit more about what drives us first-generation Indian Americans to dance, and particularly here at Harvard, take the hands of our peers and friends and ask them to dance with us. Thank you.